I'd like to talk about today is last week I made a video defending Doreen virtue, and a lady called Emmanuel has been sending me lots of messages. I have got 2 videos on there about the people attacking Doreen virtue because the first one was too quiet, so I made another one that's got the volume turned up, but she's been sending messages to me on both of them. Actually the first one with the less views is the quieter one, and she sent me loads. What I object to highly is the way that so that's my phone, people always phone me when I'm doing things like this, is that Christians attack psychics. I first found this out about Christians when I sent 10% of my takings for readings to the local hospice, and got a letter back, and I thought it was just going to be a letter saying thank you. It wasn't. It was a letter on my cheque saying they couldn't accept it from me because I worked with spirit and I worked as a psychic, which infuriated me because I thought, you're probably taking money off thieves and drug dealers and all sorts of people like that, but you don't probably ask them where they got their money from, because I said where I got the money from, they sent it back. So I thought, well, if you can do that, you've obviously got too much money. So that started my mind rolling about hospices. They put out this that we have to raise money for them, but how do we know people really do? Perhaps they get money. So that's another one of those things. If you can turn down money, you can't need extra money then, can you? And then I started hearing all these terrible stories about from people saying that the hospice is run by a Christian board, and that the hospice, different people I know have worked in there, volunteered in there, and they said that they didn't like the dealings that were going on in there. Now, anybody who works in a hospice knows very well that the people, as they're dying, I'd say at least 80% of people, if not more, see spirits, see their loved ones before they die, which proves there is spirit, doesn't it? But they don't think so. They think apparently that you live, you die, that's it. So they see as any contacting of spirits, even if it's your own loved ones, is evil, and that you're opening that door to evil spirits coming in. Possibly, yes, but especially if you're a very negative person. But I feel that if you keep your energy on a high vibration, those negative ones don't get in. So Christians attacking psychics, and this woman has sent me loads and loads of messages, some of which they're not really rude, but somebody could take this as rude. She has told me that I am misleading many souls, just like Doreen virtue, because I told the lady it was a psychic, and I am condemning myself. Lovely. She told me to repent before it's too late. She also told me to read the Bible and not read New Age books, so I replied to that, you don't know what I read. She doesn't know what I read, does she? I have read books by Lorna Byrne, about her life connected to angels, and I love those books. I've read Loretta, someone, I can't think of her name at the moment, but different books. I don't read many books, but if I'm drawn to a book, I know there's a reason why, and they're always very gentle books. They're not, Tony Stockwell's books I've read. And she said, I am consulting with demons disguised as angels. Well, the people I see are definitely my family. They are not demons disguised as my family, because nothing is ever said, or the energy with them is ever bad. It's all just talking. They don't say too many words. A lot of people think that spirits come through and tell a whole story. I don't feel they do. They just say a basic few words, really. So I'm consulting with demons disguised as angels. So they lump all psychics into that, by the way. So Doreen virtue is dealing with, obviously, demons. Anyone who sees angels, so Lorna Byrne is only seeing demons, not angels. There. I was also told by this lady, Emmanuel, if I am not willing to give it up because of money, so she says I'm only doing this because of money, which is not true, I will be harshly judged in the day of the Lord. Well, that does not scare me, because as I told her, I see Jesus. I have been seeing him for about 3 or 4 years, and I know it's him. It's not a demon disguised as him, and he knows what I'm doing. So he knows that I only do it with love and light, and not fake love and light. Love and light. He knows I'm a good person. I've never, well, we've all been bad at something, because a lot of people don't think they're bad, but you can be bad with your own thoughts, can't you, about someone else? So I'm going to be judged by the Lord, and she also told me that psychics are condemned in the Bible. So I asked her where this was in the Bible, and then she sent me all these different sections of Bibles. There's the King James Bible. The one she sent me, she said, was from the New International Version. She sent me loads of versions of Bibles. She says it says in the New International Version of the Bible, do not turn to psychics or seek out spiritualists, for you will be defiled by them. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? So that's how she views what I do. I defile people. Well, I do not. I talk to people. I always try to lift up their spirits, their energy, teach them about positive thinking, and usually I see someone is relative. Now, I don't know what their relative looks like, so what the Christians are saying is that I'm seeing a demon disguised as their relative. No. I can very easily detect bad energies and spirits, and I know these. Well, first of all, I set out the intention of only friendly spirits can come forward. I do have my own spirit guides, and so she would say they're demons, wouldn't she? Well, they're definitely not demons. I've had my native Indian guide from for quite a few years now, from when I first tuned into a guide. Oh no, sorry, my Japanese guide, my healing guide, came through when I did Reiki, so she would say he's a demon. He's very far from a demon. My native Indian guide, he always works with me when I do readings, and sometimes I see him in the day when I'm not doing readings. And I know I have lived with him in a previous life. She would say that's rubbish, wouldn't she? He is my closest guide, I would say, because I see him more often. But I know I have shared a life with, because I've seen it lots of times in meditations. I have lived with him in a previous life, and now because I've opened up spiritually, I can see him. He's probably always been there, but I couldn't see him before I opened up spiritually. He is not bad. He is not a demon. He never tries to fool me, because he often doesn't say hardly anything. He just comes, and I can feel him there. He's not leading me into a path of damnation. He's not leading me down a path of drinking drugs, is he? Other Christians on YouTube that I do like, she said I'm misleading people. Oh, that's what she said. Talking to spirits must be evil. This is how a lot of Christians actually feel on the internet. She told me I'm misleading people, but my feeling of that is some of these Christians I listen to who said they've been in this bad place and they realised that beings they thought were angels were actually turned out to be bad energies, have also admitted that as they got deeper and deeper into this New Age movement and what they were doing, like tarot readings and crystals, they also started taking hallucinogenic drugs. So that is probably what opened the doors to the bad spirits, because that is a bad, in the eyes of God, if they believe in God, these Christians, is down a bad path, isn't it? So that would open the doors to the bad entities. If you are new into it and you start to suddenly see, some people say, people who see Archangel Michael, that's actually the demon disguising himself as Archangel Michael. Again, you would know by what they're telling you to do, wouldn't you? Or saying to you. I have not been fooled by anyone, because I still see them. I've been seeing them for 3 or 4 years, and they've never told me or guided me to do something bad. So I know they're not demons. So I'm really insulted by that, actually, by what she said to me. So I'm very insulted that she said I'm doing something wrong and Doreen Virtue. I don't know what Doreen Virtue is really doing, but I know she does a lot of good for animals. She's adopting all these animals. So would a demon do that? I don't think so. They don't probably like animals, do they? My guides are not demons, and my guides help to remove demons. I have a witch doctor guide. Wait for all the screaming on YouTube and in the world about that. He is a witch doctor. He's not working as a witch doctor now, because I asked him why he was helping me to remove negative entities from other people, and he said because he knows he's repenting, because in his life, working as a witch doctor, he admitted he did do bad things with that, so now he's come back again to help to remove bad entities, and I see a lot of people with those, by the way. And a lot of the time they attract these because of their own negative thinking. That's how they attract them. Because they lower their energy, they attract the bad energies. The bad energies love to live off your fear and your bad energy, you see. That's how they come in. And I don't like the way that psychic readings are being lumped in with what I would call what is called black magic and voodoo and shamanic work. I do believe they can summon up bad entities and bad spirits because they're doing that on purpose. They're trying to connect to certain people that are not what I would call holy spirits. So they are deviling with the devil, aren't they, and Satan, because they are doing certain things where they are summoning up the wrong sort of beings. And that is the path they are on. I don't go down that path. I was still very well away from that. I used to belong to a group. This lady used to run it, and she still is, into shamanic work. And she liked to have fires around in her garden and have us standing around there banging drums and rattles. And it was only about a year ago I suddenly thought, oh, I didn't like the woman anyway. I left her group. I knew she was like a cult leader, and she was definitely misleading people down the wrong path. Because she was trying to help them to heal and to let go of their bad energies and get into the fire, when actually what that was doing is adding the negativity to the fire, making it bigger to attract a demon. She wasn't telling anyone that, but that's what I realised months ago is what she was doing. So she is bad, and she is a bad person. I'm not going to tell you her name, but when I left her group, she turned on me. Because I left, I didn't say anything to her, just apart from thank you for the time we've had together, you know, the classes that I've been to, and no, that wasn't good enough. She turned on me because I dared to leave her demonic group. So in the Bible, apparently it says, and I don't know this a fact because I don't read the Bible, but then there's the other question, which Bible to read, because I didn't know until last week there was a King James Bible. Now I know there's a New International Version, there's the New Testament, the Old Testament. I would assume that it's the old one that's the true one, because you know what can happen with people passing on messages. They can get changed. So surely these people interpreting the Bible as it's going along, aren't they changing a bit of what's really been said? Why are there all these other versions? Who's been writing those, and who's been adding bits to those? I don't know. So Christians, I like to listen to a man on YouTube called The Vigilant Christian, but he's saying that he's the one that says that by going on this New Age path, you can open up the doors to demons, but that was him. See, he was on that path, and also he'd been doing bad things before that. He says, partying all the time, taking drugs, sleeping with too many women, you know, so the demons knew he was open to that, didn't they? So they knew they could come in while he was doing this path of doing readings, and he said he was doing tarot readings. Well, some people don't like that, do they? They don't like tarot cards because they think they're linked to more demonic people, don't they? So that was him. That's not me. I am not opening the doors to bad spirits, and sometimes I do see them, and I tell them to, and I don't swear. In my head, I tell them to clear off. You know, that's what you do with them. You just tell them to go away, because I'm not going to let them into my mind. I'm not going to let them into my home. My dog, where is she? She's out there in the hall. She sees, I know she sees bad spirits, because sometimes she's sitting on the settee shaking. And that's not because she doesn't like lightning, she doesn't like fireworks, she's very hypersensitive, she sees spirits. But sometimes she's sitting there looking at me, and I can see she's looking right over my head, so she's seeing spirits. Other times she's sitting on a settee shaking. So I know someone's here who's bad, but what I do then is I ask the good spirits in the universe to take them away. And I do have a big guide, a giant guide, that does that actually. So I just ask them for help, and they're not demons, they're taking the bad ones away. Angels, according to different things I've been learning, could be as Eric von Daniken says, are extraterrestrials. So perhaps Jesus is an extraterrestrial. The Christians and the people who believe in the church, they've been blackmailed, haven't they? But they think we have. we are being, you know, so no one's going to know really till the day comes, but somebody's coming, whoever that is. But they're all from outside of our normal vision, aren't they? So that you could say they're all extraterrestrials, aren't they? Jesus may well be one of those, mightn't he? But whatever he is, whoever he is, or he is of a kinder energy than the bad energies. Whether he comes back looking like we believe he looked, because we weren't living then, were we? So if he comes back looking like he did, we believe he does look, and he comes back looking like that again, or he comes back looking like a different person, we will know, because it will be that love energy. People who are of low energies are very easily deceived, aren't they? If you live on a high vibration like I like to do, I like to think positive, happy thoughts all the time. That's not all day, every day, obviously, because I have my moments and I get angry about things. That's normal. That's part of being a human. But I don't let those bad energies into me. I know people who have, and my own brother has always had, for many years, had a drink problem. And a few years ago he did some of the most bizarre things in my view, and my view of that is, besides the drinking, then the doctor gave him medication, which he shouldn't have done, because he knew full well the medication he gave him, you shouldn't be drinking that, and if you give that to an alcoholic you are asking for trouble, aren't you? So the mixture of the drink and the drugs the doctor gave him, not someone else gave him, the doctor gave him, was part of the problem, because the path he was going down was negative. And I firmly believe that a few years ago he was acting so odd and weirdly that he could have been possessed by a negative energy, because I know negative energies can blend with people, just like in meditation classes you can blend with one of your relatives. Christians wouldn't like that, would they? They'd say that's demonic. But it's funny how so many people go down this path and don't seem to see negative energies and demons, and they know who their guides are, and they're not being hoodwinked by a demon masked as a guide, are they, or their relative. It's the people who are so negative that are going to attract those, and that's what I firmly believe. Whether you're a psychic or you're a Christian, anybody, if you walk around with negative views, talking negatively to yourself all day, muttering negative bad thoughts all day, you are going to attract negative energies, which some people call demons. So I would like to know what other people think about that. So psychics are condemned in the Bible. She showed me different quotes that says things about, but I believe the Bible is talking more about occultists, those type of people who contact spirits, not people like me who contact spirit for, like my mum, my nans, granddads, aunties, uncles, mother-in-law, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws. They are not demons who I'm talking to. Many people can see their own relatives and hear them and sense them. It isn't some naughty demon tapping on the door. But if you are someone who's perhaps walking down that path of bad, you could be deceived into thinking that that person you think is your mum there is actually a bad spirit. But as I said before, you would know that because they'd be telling you to do certain things, or telling you to try different things, and a good loving spirit would not do that. They would not be telling you to go and, I don't know, steal something, or go and keep drinking. They wouldn't be doing that. They would not do that at all. So you might like to look at the comments by the lady Emmanuel. There's about 15 things she sent me about me being judged on the day of judgment. Well, she hasn't replied to what I said to her about that I talk to Jesus and he knows what I'm doing, and I do not believe I'm going to be condemned, because I am not doing anything wrong. I am not opening the doors to bad entities. So I hope you all have a lovely day. I'm going to make another video. Somebody talked to me last week about the Mandela effect. I didn't know anything about that till last week, and then my eyes opened up to something else, which I actually had already been seeing, but I didn't know it had a name. But that's got the Mandela effect, so that's another video I'm going to make. So I hope you all have a lovely day. Keep your spirits high, you know, the day has up and down moments, doesn't it? But if you wake up in the morning grateful, you go to bed grateful for the day you've had, the food you've ate, you're grateful for the food you can buy. So when you cook dinner, be grateful for that. Grateful for the food you could buy, grateful for the money you had to buy the food. You keep your energy high. And then don't go down that path of thinking negative. The best way to attract negative entities is to hate yourself, is to not love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you are opening the doors to so many bad things. And a lot of people who see bad spirits, because I've talked to them, are very low energy people. They are very, very unloving of themselves, and it's those people, many people like that I've spoke to, who have attracted demons, and they will admit as well that they've attracted them because of their low energy. But you can choose which energy you have. It's up to you entirely. You have free will. You can choose to walk down that path of brightness, or you can choose to walk down that path of grey and black, can't you? Well, have a lovely day, have a lovely week, and keep your, as that man says, fear no evil. Because if you don't fear it, it can't get to you. And that is very true. Thank you. Bye bye.